Hey guys, Aaron here. So I was going to, right now I'm gonna show you guys my Blu Ray collection, make a Blu Ray collection video. Originally I wanted to make this like super professional, have a storyline, have it heavily edited, but I don't have a camera. The only editing software I had was at school, but it doesn't look like I'm getting back to school anytime soon, probably ever. So I thought I'd just make it like the normal, just kind of go off my shelf type of way, and just kind of just straight to the point showing you on my Blu-rays. So we'll do that, and yeah. So start. We have 10 Cloverfield Lane. I have to get a replacement for this one because the case is super jacked up. But yeah, I remember being super surprised by this video. I mean, surprised by this movie. I wasn't expecting much from it, but it was actually really good. Next up, like that one, I had a story for it. I'm probably not gonna have a lot of stories for like every single one, but yeah, 10 Cloverfield Lane, A Star Is Born. I'd been wanting to watch this, but what really like got me motivated to get this was my girlfriend. She wanted to watch this movie with me, and the only way I could was by getting it on Blu-ray. And they had this on Black Friday last year, 2019, for really cheap. So I got the 4K. The Accountant, extremely underrated movie. It's super cool and it's a really good movie. And I recommend more people check this one out because it's like really good. Not a lot of people talk about it, but that's because the trailers, everything sucked for it. The Amazing Spider-Man, it's an alright movie. Amazing Spider-Man 2, I'm pretty sure everyone knows how that one is. Funny story about this one. So I was meaning to get every single Spider-Man movie on Blu-ray, and it's just this one, it's not the greatest. So I was like, I don't know if I really want to spend that much money on it. I went to a Five and Below, and they had this here. They had a small little Blu-ray section. They had, I think it was Paul Blart Mall Cop, and they had Rio 2, and they had this one for $5. The 3D plus Blu-ray plus DVD, all that for $5 at Five and Below. So I was like, if I'm gonna get it right now is the perfect time. So yeah, being Spider-Man 2. Next up is Ant-Man. I plan on upgrading this copy because my main goal is to get all my MCU movies to be a 4K Steelbook. That's going to be a bit tricky because we might as well talk about the next one, Ant-Man and the Wasp. It already had a 4K Steelbook released. This one and a couple other movies, as you see later down the line, they never had 4K Steelbook releases, so they got released. But movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp, they were already released on a 4K Steelbook. So I'm hoping that they release every single movie on a new 4K Steelbook despite already having one. And I feel like they might because of Black Panther, which I already had a 4K Steelbook but got re-released. But I don't know if they're going to do that with everything. I hope so, though. But yeah, Ant-Man. I like this movie. I really like this movie. It's not in my top 10, but I enjoy it. I usually always, I'm always, back and forth on which one I like better, this one or Doctor Strange. I think Doctor Strange, but this is good too. Ant-Man and the Wasp, I didn't really care too much for this one. I surprisingly felt, bored by it, which I know it's a Marvel movie. Don't get me wrong, it has its moments, but I just didn't care too much for this one. It's definitely probably in, my bottom 5 or 6. The Avengers, this is the 4K Steelbook. Super good movie, but everybody knows that. Age of Ultron. I love Age of Ultron. It's honestly in my top 10 favorite MCU movies. I guess I could kind of understand why you might not like it, but I love it. I think it's just, this is the perfect movie, perfect example of just a blockbuster summer movie. It's just not too serious, it has jokes, but it has its drama, and it's just really cool, and it's really funny, and I love this movie, so I don't care what anybody says. Infinity War, I hope to get this on Steelbook soon. One of the best movie endings ever. How could you not love this movie? It's definitely my second place MCU movie, but it's what can I say about this that hasn't already been said? It's probably going to go down as a classic later on. Endgame, the best MCU movie in my opinion. Probably the craziest I've ever been in a theater. Like, I was like freaking out so much throughout this movie. I love it. I can watch it anytime. Endgame, honestly, probably my favorite comic book movie ever. Baby Driver, really good movie, directed by my favorite director, Edgar Wright. Bad Moms, if you're wondering why I have this, my mom got it for Christmas, and since I have a Blu Ray collection, she let me have it. It's not a good movie. Batman v Superman, one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. It's so bad, I can watch it so many times and just crack out laughing. Like, I've genuinely laughed watching this. It's so funny, and I like this movie, not because it's good, but because it's that bad. Yeah. Black Panther. I really liked this movie when I first saw it, but I don't care for it too much now. It's probably in like my bottom 6 MCU movies. I just don't really care for it. I don't know. I'm not a fan of I don't know. I don't really care for Killmonger. I don't really get how you can side with him because he kind of has the complex of a really terrible person. I just don't really like the themes or the atmosphere. I don't know. It's just not for me after rewatching it. Don't get me wrong, it has some good elements, but it's not good. The soundtrack is really good though. Big Trouble in Little China, classic movie, very funny. The Boss Baby. I plan on making a video about this down the line, but this is a good movie. I don't care what anyone says. I really like The Boss Baby. Unironically, I really like The Boss Baby. So yeah, I'll have more to say about that in a video I'm going to make later on. Breakfast Club. Sorry about that. Breakfast Club. It's a classic movie. Really good. Brightburn. I didn't hate this movie as much as a lot of people do. I actually really liked it. It has a very good amount of flaws, but I still really like it. I recommend it. Captain America: The First Avenger, probably one of the most underrated movies ever. It's in my top 10. Probably I think it's in my top 7 of the MCU. I love this movie. I think you should rewatch it. A lot of people haven't rewatched it, and I think you really should rewatch it, and you'll realize how good it is. I love this movie. Winter Soldier. Everyone loved this movie. I love this movie. It's so cool, so awesome, and the score is really good if you haven't listened to it. Civil War, same thing, Winter Soldier, really cool, really amazing. A lot of people say the airport sequence is the best part. I honestly think that the ending is better, like the whole fight between everything, like between Iron Man and Winter Soldier and Cap after the whole video. Zemo shows Iron Man of his father. I think that's the best part. I honestly thought someone was gonna die during that sequence. Captain Marvel. I know on the internet it's cool to hate this movie, but I really like it. I don't care what anyone says. I really like Captain Marvel. Charlie Brown Christmas, classic, one of my favorite Christmas movies. Child's Play, my childhood fear. I always hated this movie, but I rewatched it, and it's actually pretty good, but very cheesy. Excuse me. Deadpool, it's a very funny movie. I haven't watched it in a while, but it's really good. Deadpool 2, I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it's still a really good movie. Doctor Strange, it's really cool and trippy. I really like Doctor Strange. Don't Breathe, very underrated. It's a good horror movie and a very strange, twisted movie, and I really recommend it. Elf, classic, really funny Christmas movie, one of my favorites. Fan 4-Stick. I do not hate this as much as a lot of other people do. It has a crap ton of flaws. I know it does, but there's some good elements in there. I have a Letterboxd review for it, so it goes very in depth, but to sum it up, I don't completely hate this. There are some things I like about it. Fantastic Mr. Fox, and one of my favorite movies of all time. I love this movie. I love Wes Anderson as a director. He makes tons of good movies. This is his best. Probably my favorite animated movie. It's probably my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. Fargo, such a good movie. The Coen Brothers, it's a classic. If you haven't seen this, please watch it. It is so good. Ferris Bueller's Day Off, classic, really good. Frozen 2, I really like this movie. I know, look, you're a guy, you can't like it. I don't care. I do. It's a good movie. Glass, I've only seen this once, but I love the slipcover. I remember the first time I watched it, it wasn't bad. I thought it was decent. Oh, my favorite movie of all time, Godzilla. This is a masterpiece. If you don't think so, rewatch it. It's an example of a perfect movie, and it's the reason why I want to get into Hollywood and directing. It's because of this movie right here, a masterpiece. Godzilla King of the Monsters, the most disappointing movie of all time. I'll have a video about this later on. Guardians of the Galaxy, amazing movie. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, also an amazing movie. I think I like Guardians 1 a little bit. Actually, no. I'm always bouncing back and forth which one I like more. I like the soundtrack for this one more, but I don't know if I like this as a movie more, but it's still amazing. Probably top 10. Halloween, classic Halloween movie, really good. Hardcore Henry. This movie is very cool. I know it's not for everyone because it has a lot of things that could make you motion sick, but it's a really, really epic movie. I haven't seen this yet. I got this from my uncle for my birthday like 2 years ago, and I still haven't watched it yet. But from the trailer, it doesn't look that good. But if it is, well, I'll let you know. Incredibles 2, a lot of people didn't care for it. I liked it. Not as good as the first, obviously, but it's still an entertaining movie. Into the Storm, it's a bad movie, but my sister wanted me to get this, and it was $5. Iron Man, it's the one that started the whole MCU. It's amazing. Iron Man 2, not as terrible as everyone says it is. It's bad, but it has really cool moments. The whole suit-up sequence is probably one of my favorite sequences, and the part where he fights War Machine in his house, that moment is just so cool. One of the best of the MCU, probably top 5 for me. I love Iron Man 3. And once you get past that, it's not some big action movie and you get that's more of a character story about Iron Man, the more you appreciate it. It's such a good movie. I love this movie. I would defend it till I die. Isle of Dogs, and not as good as Fantastic Mr. Fox. I was a little bit underwhelmed, but it's still an okay movie. Jingle All the Way, guilty pleasure. Love this movie. One of the most quotable Christmas movies. Justice League, it's alright. It's not like terrible, but it's not the greatest either. Kick-Ass 2, it's fine. The first one's one of my favorite movies, probably my top 10 favorite movies. This one was Kong Skull Island features one of, if not, no, not if not, it's not, but it was one of my top 3 favorite end credit scenes. Really cool movie, love the editing, love the tone of it. Kong is so cool, can't wait for, actually I'm skeptical about Godzilla versus Kong because Godzilla 2 went in a direction I didn't like. So I'm worried about Kong versus Godzilla. But as this movie is a standalone, it's really good. La La Land, I consider this a masterpiece. I love it. I love the cinematography. I love the acting. I love the music. Just amazing. Top 5 for sure favorite movies. Lego Batman movie, I didn't really care for this one that much. Kind of was bored. Lego Movie 2, very disappointing because the first one's so amazing. This one was pretty mediocre. Lego Ninjago movie, thought it was alright. Logan, one of the best comic book movies of all time. Near masterpiece. And Max Fury Road, really good movie. Moonrise Kingdom, I haven't watched it yet, but I plan on watching it very soon. The trailers look really good. Napoleon Dynamite, grew up with this movie. Probably my favorite comedy ever. The Nice Guys, it's good. But I feel like when it sticks to the detective stuff, it's good. And the comedy's good, but there's just some things I get and meh about it. Nightmare Before Christmas, one of my favorite movies ever, and I love it. Pacific Rim, it's not my favorite, but it's alright. The Peanuts movie, it's a very heartwarming movie. I really like it. Pet Sematary, haven't seen it yet. It doesn't look that good to me. Polar Express, probably one of, if not my favorite Christmas movies ever. I love this movie to death. Popstar, very underrated, very funny. Project X, I know this movie gets a lot of crap for it, but I really like this movie. Pulp Fiction, classic. Everyone knows that. The Purge Election Year, the best Purge movie in my opinion, and I really, really like this movie. I haven't seen the second one. The first one's alright. I didn't see the first Purge. I hear there's a Purge 5 coming out, so I don't know how that's going to be, but yeah, I like this movie. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, one of my favorite movies. In my opinion, the best Edgar Wright movie. It's so good and so well edited. It's just a perfect movie. Shaun of the Dead, another Edgar Wright movie. I really like it. Check it out if you haven't seen it. The Shining. I have only watched half of this movie. My girlfriend hates this movie. From what I seen, it wasn't bad, but I've only seen, like, not the entire thing. Spaceballs, funny movie. Spider-Man. I grew up with this movie. This movie was on every second when I was since I've been born. It was always on, and this is honestly probably one of the best superhero movies in my opinion. No, it's not just because of nostalgia. It's because if you really watch it, it's a good movie. Spider-Man 2, the best Spider-Man movie, but I'm pretty sure everyone knows that. It's just gets everything right. Spider-Man 3, I will defend this movie forever, probably more than any other movie. This is a really good movie. I don't care what anyone says. I know it's campy, I know it's cheesy, and has the dance scenes, but I don't care. It's such an entertaining movie. Spider-Man Homecoming, not that great of a Spider-Man movie. It's okay. I liked it more the first time I saw it, but the more I rewatch it, the more I'm like, eh. Spider-Man Far From Home, it's fine. Another one where I first watched it, it was really good, but the more you rewatch it, the more you become eh on it. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This is a hot take. This movie's good, but it's not all that. That's all I'm going to say. Sponge movie, Sponge Out of Water. Good movie, but I wish they stayed out of water more instead of like the last 20 minutes. The original Star Wars trilogy, New Hope was my favorite. I don't really care for Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back is good. Empire Strikes Back. The Force Awakens, I love this movie. Last Jedi, I love this movie. The Rise of Skywalker, my favorite Star Wars movie. I don't care what anyone says. Let the salty Star Wars fanboys comment and cry in my comment section. I don't care. I love the new trilogy. It's my favorite trilogy. This movie had me going insane in the theater. I just like everything about this movie. Same thing for these two, especially this one. Storks, I've only seen this once, but remember it was good. Suicide Squad, it's so bad, it's funny. Super 8, it's so good. For a while, it was in my top 5 favorite movies. I haven't seen it in a while, so I don't know if it can still be the same, but please watch this movie. Superbad, one of the funniest movies ever. Tangled, really good animated movie. The original Ninja Turtles trilogy, this one's terrible. This one's my favorite. This one is good. Out of the Shadows, it wasn't bad. The Terminator, I like the Terminator more than Terminator 2. I know that's not a popular opinion, but it's how I feel. I like this one more than Terminator 2. Although Terminator 2 is still good. The first Thor movie, I like everything before they go into New Mexico. After that, it kind of gets meh. Thor Dark World, one of the worst comic book movies ever and the worst MCU movie. Thor Ragnarok, really entertaining, and I really like this movie. Transformers, good. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. I remember dying to watch this in theaters. I watched it. I used to really like it. I watched it recently, and it's very bad. Transformers Dark of the Moon, I don't remember much, but I think I liked it. Tron, the original classic, haven't seen this one yet. Venom, it's alright. Watchmen, I remember I keep getting halfway through, but I get really distracted, and I just have to sit down and watch it, but I just can't. X-Men, not the greatest movie ever, but it's alright. Ghostbusters, I have this at the end because it sticks out, and I hate it when it's in the G's and it's super sticking out. This already bugs me as it is, but Ghostbusters classics, I didn't like them. Sorry, I went through this really fast. It's just I can only do this in one take. But yeah, that is everything, and I hope you guys enjoy. Subscribe.